Once upon a time, in the gritty, graffiti-sprayed streets of New Nottington, lived a stray with an air of charming ruggedness about him. His name was Rufus. With his scruffy fur, crooked tail, and a patch over one eye, he seemed more like a pirate than a canine. Life as a stray in New Nottington was no easy feat, particularly when you were constantly at the receiving end of humans' contempt. Nasty kicks, harsh shouts, flying stones, and leftover food, if he was lucky, these were the memories Rufus held of humans. He had therefore concluded early on that humans were nothing but cruel creatures. One grey afternoon, while escaping the notorious street pack called Snarl Snouts, Rufus sought refuge in a deserted train carriage rusting at the edge of town. Exhausted from the relentless chase, he quickly fell into a deep sleep in the darkest, most hidden corner he could find. When he woke, his world was a whirl of motion and noise. He was on a moving train. His heart pounded with a mix of fear and excitement. He peered out from his corner, flabbergasted at the sights that rushed by, fields of green, towering buildings, glimmers of a far-off river, all the while feeling the rhythmic vibrations of the train beneath him. The scents of oil and distant wildflowers mingled in the air. And the whistling wind carried snippets of conversations from inside the train. Where was he headed? He did not know. But Rufus was no stranger to adventures, and he braced himself for whatever lay ahead. The train journey felt like an eternity to him. He watched the day turn into night and the stars come out to play. He observed humans in the train, some laughing, some dozing off, some engrossed in strange rectangular devices that lit up. It was a slice of life he had never seen before, and it was both overwhelming and fascinating. He even had a curious encounter with a plump mouse who shared a crumb of cheese with him and told him tales of the world beyond the rails. After what felt like an endless night, the train finally rumbled to a stop in Fluffington, a town that was a stark contrast to New Nottington. Here, the streets were clean, houses beautifully maintained, parks lush with greenery, and people, surprisingly, didn't scowl at his sight. Life in Fluffington was a roller coaster ride of adventures for Rufus. His first significant encounter was with Scratch, a devious, sharp-clawed feline who ruled the town's strays. Scratch had managed to steal Rufus's food, which ignited a spark of defiance in the otherwise passive dog. Drawing from his street-smart instincts, Rufus hatched a clever plan that culminated in Scratch being drenched in a bucket of water right in the middle of the town square. This public defeat lost Scratch his feared reputation, and Rufus earned newfound respect among the strays. The next adventure was a mischievous one involving an encounter with the town baker's deliciously tempting pies. Rufus managed to stealthily sneak in and out, scoring a pie without being noticed. However, the scent of the pie attracted the other strays, resulting in a hilarious chase around the town square. It was an exhilarating dash of excitement that ended with Rufus sharing his prize with the other strays, an act that earned him not just their respect, but their friendship too. His third adventure was of a different kind, less about courage, more about kindness. Rufus stumbled upon an injured canary, Tweet, who had lost her way home due to a hurt wing. Seeing Tweet's vulnerability stirred something in Rufus, he knew what it felt like to be lost and helpless. He resolved to help her and embarked on an elaborate quest across town, navigating through crowded markets, dodging speedy bicycles, and even outsmarting a grumpy old man with a penchant for chasing stray animals away. Eventually, Rufus successfully led Tweet back to her birdhouse, much to the delight of her anxious family. However, the most significant transformation in Rufus's life came in the form of a young boy named Charlie. He met Charlie, a freckle-faced, red-haired kid with a contagious laugh, at Fluffington's bustling marketplace. Despite his past experiences, Rufus felt drawn to Charlie's kind-heartedness. Their bond was sealed when Rufus made a daring dash to save an apple that Charlie had accidentally let roll towards a steep cliff edge. His bravery left a lasting impression on Charlie, and an unusual friendship blossomed between the two. They spent their days exploring the town, Charlie often sharing his lunch while Rufus regaled him with his adventurous antics. But their bond was put to the test when Charlie accidentally tripped and tumbled into a steep ravine near the old railway track they often played at. Far from any human help, it was up to Rufus to bring help. Fueled by loyalty and concern, Rufus ran as he'd never run before. His destination, Charlie's home. He had picked up the scent of Charlie's mother during their trips to the park and relied on it to guide him through the unfamiliar streets. He sprinted, panted, and persisted until he reached Charlie's home. Rufus barked, scratched at the door, tugged at Charlie's mother's dress, doing all he could to convey the urgency of the situation. Although puzzled at first, she soon understood the gravity of the situation and followed Rufus to the ravine. With her quick call to the ambulance, Charlie was soon safe and sound. This act of bravery was the turning point in Rufus's life. Charlie's mother, moved by Rufus's loyalty, welcomed him into their home as a permanent family member. Rufus, who once believed all humans were heartless, found himself in a world where he was loved and cared for. He had a warm bed, delicious food, and a best friend in Charlie. Rufus's journey from the harsh streets of New Nottington to the loving home in Fluffington was one of transformation, filled with trials, adventures, and most importantly, a change of heart. His story served as a testament to the healing power of kindness, teaching everyone that, sometimes, a little bit of love is all it takes to turn a life around.